Still, we traveled to Augusta to the Mid-River Basin to see for ourselves. This is the area where the group Environment Georgia says much of the 5 million pounds of pollutants in 2012 was dumped.
We now have the third largest toxic releases in the United States, no meaningful reduction in that at all, and we're only increasing the amount that we use the river.
But others who analyze the report say it does not translate into the Savannah River being the third dirtiest in the country. For one thing, they say there is a huge volume of water in the river that dilutes discharges. The river is big, 400 miles long to be exact, but think about this. There are 48 permitted discharges along this river. Now, if you think about that, this is an interesting fact. On the Ogeechee River, where they had so much controversy, there is 1 permitted discharge. At the City of Savannah water plant, we talked to Director Lloyd Heath.
And I think it's a great question for citizens to ask, what does it mean to them? I think the challenge is to truly understand the information and the impacts.
Some of the city's drinking water does come from the Savannah River. At 6, we will tell you more about the testing the city says it does to ensure water safety, but we will also take a closer look at what's really going into the water. Tuesday night, it was another familiar scene. The bright lights of police cars and an ambulance pitted against the backdrop of night when so many crimes take place and the lives of so many families change.
To really find out that it was a 2-year-old child that got killed.
And that's what this story is about. A little girl, her family called Kiki, 2-year-old Kyasia Coleman Smalls, is dead.
I mean, what is it going to take for it to stop? This 2-year-old lost her life, or, come on.
Benny Pope lives just a few doors down from where little Kiki was shot. Bullet hole after bullet hole could be seen outside. Police say it appears someone inside was targeted.
They was after somebody, and that little girl was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
But for Pope, it's about more than stating the obvious. He wants something to change.
People's got to come together now. I mean, people need to start running behind their closed doors and come outside and get together and make things happen. Police can't do it all on their own.
Still, Pope admits he's not really sure what coming together looks like these days. He just knows he doesn't want to see more crime scenes. Police say often that no one will tell them things. Do you think people should be more willing to tell police what they know?
Exactly. Instead of talking with other people, you understand? Talk to the police.
Pope is hoping that anyone who knows anything will come forward, and soon. And he has a message for the shooter.
Person, be a man. You killed an innocent child. Step to the stage and go turn yourself in.
A flag is raised in this peaceful setting. The quiet, a sharp contrast to the sounds of war that many may still carry with them. The sight of stone and crosses that bear so many names bring back so much.
I was on the Okinawa invasion, Easter Sunday morning, 1945. We're blessed to be here.
A time for recognition, especially for World War II veterans still left. "91-year-old Ed Abernathy struggles to stand, but says being honored is still meaningful.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful ceremony.
Mr. Abernathy, like so many of his generation, didn't always talk about his service, but his son knows enough.
He landed on Guadalcanal, and he walked off of Guadalcanal.
Ed Abernathy and Jim McNear went through World War II and then Korea together. Now, as old friends, they have a simple message.
It's a real honor to be here and remember those that have gone on before us.
From World War II and Korea to Vietnam.
I'm thinking about all the fellows that I served with that passed away, that didn't make it home, and their families and the hardship that they are experiencing.
To Iraq and Afghanistan. General Mike Murray, commander of the 3rd ID, says today should be less about shopping and vacations and more about what this site means.
It's really on the backs of our veterans, and especially the 1.3 million that have given their lives for this country, that we can do all that we can do in this country.
It's a ceremony that comes once a year, but for veterans, it's about an experience they've carried for a lifetime.
Freedom is not cheap. It doesn't come free. We have to pay a price for our freedom. what an honor it is.
JoAnn Merrigan, WSAV News 3.
And I've fired twice into Tiffany York.
Anthony Peden cried as he admitted he shot young Tiffany York on a tragic night nearly 3 years ago, but he said little about the militia group Fear.
When Peden came back from his deployment, he knew that there was something wrong and that he needed mental health treatment, but he instead was returned to Afghanistan.
His attorney, Burt Baker, though, had much to say about Peden's service to the country. 2 tours in Afghanistan and 1 in Iraq.
He was having wild mood swings and his marriage started to deteriorate.
He said Peden is not the same young man who joined the Army in 2006.
Anthony has told me that he cannot ask these people for forgiveness because he can't forgive himself. Anthony doesn't truly understand how he came to be where he is.
Baker says Peden has traumatic brain injuries and PTSD and might not have ended up getting involved with the group Fear if he'd been helped by the military when he asked for it.
And he'd ask me, why didn't the Army put me in the barracks? Why didn't they give me some kind of treatment? Why did they allow this to happen?
He took her life and she wasn't able to finish school or anything else. He had a choice, but he chose the wrong choice.
Tiffany York's family members said there may be mitigating circumstances, but Peden must still face the consequences of what he's done.
Not only did you affect our lives, but your own life, your family's life. I know one day I will have to forgive you. I don't think I'm ready today.
The U.S. Attorney's Office claims the hospital basically cheated the government out of millions of dollars by filing excessive Medicare claims. Now, the allegation is that from 2008 to 2011, the defendants, which include Memorial Health University, as well as Memorial Health University physicians, provided compensations to some doctors that was higher than Medicare reimbursements allowed. The claim is that those doctors then referred patients to Memorial Health and some of its clinics. Now, the issue first surfaced in 2011 when the former CEO of Memorial, Philip Schingold, had sued the hospital saying that he had been wrongly terminated because he had discovered the fraud and tried to correct it. Well, that lawsuit had been sealed all this time, but was unsealed recently, and then late today, the U.S. Attorney's Office filed this complaint. We did just reach Memorial by phone, and they say they will have a statement about this later tonight. I'm JoAnn Merrigan, WSAV News 3. We begin tonight with that breaking news. Police tell News 3 there are 2 shooting victims.
We go now live to the scene with news.
After 11 months, a family faces the man they are now convinced killed their loved one. The suspect in the Wesley Franklin murder case appearing in court today, with a police detective saying the man confessed to the shooting. A very subdued crowd here, many people already filtering out. We even have a lot of the national media leaving. Michelle Nunn talked to supporters about 30 minutes ago. She told them that she had called David Perdue, congratulated him. It had been a very acrimonious campaign, especially in the last few weeks, but she said she had called Perdue, congratulated him, and wished him well. She said she also thanked the Libertarian candidate Amanda Swafford for her service and for her running. She thanked supporters over and over again, and then thanked her family. Michelle Nunn, the daughter of former Senator Sam Nunn, said that she felt that she had done her duty. She felt that she had something that she wanted to say, that she wanted to give to people. She'd been running for Senate for about a year and a half. She said she thought that she had maybe changed Georgia politics a little bit, and said hopefully she had changed it for the better. Made it clear that there were 2 parties and that there were people that had different points of view. She said she talked about things that were important to her, that she thinks are important to average people, including the minimum wage. But in the end, all of that talk, all of that campaigning, all of that hope just was dashed tonight, and she just couldn't make up the margin in the gap that she had between herself and Perdue. I did ask some folks as they were leaving, some supporters, if they would give Perdue a chance. One woman told me yes, she would give Perdue a chance. Another guy said no way. So we've got a lot of disappointment here tonight, but Michelle Nunn, again, congratulating her opponent, wishing him well, and thanking her supporters as she admits defeat tonight in the race for the U.S. Senate. I'm JoAnn Merrigan reporting live from Atlanta.